In the northern corner of Europe lies a country that often goes unnoticed, yet has quietly transformed itself into one of the most advanced digital societies on Earth. Estonia, with a population of just 1.3 million people, is often referred to as the digital nation. Online voting, e-residency, and near-universal digital services make it feel like a society from the future. But behind this polished image lies a paradox that surprises many visitors. Estonia is also considered one of the loneliest countries in Europe. Its climate is cold, its people famously introverted, and the gender imbalance, with women outnumbering men, creates a quiet tension in social life. The streets are safe, modern, and efficient, yet many Estonians describe themselves as feeling isolated. Here, progress and solitude coexist. And for travelers, this contradiction between innovation and loneliness creates an irresistible mystery. To uncover the truth behind Estonia's unique rhythm, we must first step into its streets and experience the everyday impressions of this small yet fascinating nation. Tallinn, the capital, offers the most striking first encounter. As you walk into the medieval old town, cobblestone streets wind through Gothic towers and merchant houses that have stood for centuries. It feels frozen in time, as though you've stepped into a medieval fairy tale. But take a few steps outside the old walls, and you're surrounded by glass skyscrapers, buzzing tech offices, and trendy cafes filled with laptops and flat whites. Public life, however, feels quiet. Strangers rarely greet one another. The streets often seem empty after dark, especially on weekdays. Some visitors describe this calm as peaceful, while others see it as isolating. Efficiency defines everything. Tallinn's public transport is free for residents, Wi-Fi is fast and available almost everywhere, and the city is remarkably clean and orderly. Fashion is stylish but understated, with muted tones reflecting the northern climate. The balance between silence and modernity is unusual, a society that works with precision, yet reveals little warmth to outsiders. To understand why Estonians live this way, we need to look back at their history, shaped by centuries of foreign rule. Estonia's cultural roots are complex and deeply tied to survival. For centuries, the land was occupied by larger powers, Danish, Swedish, German, and most recently, the Soviet Union. Independence was regained only in 1991, making modern Estonia a relatively young nation. The Soviet era left scars. Grey apartment blocks still dominate parts of Tallinn, and Russian is still spoken widely alongside Estonian. Yet, Estonians are fiercely protective of their unique language, which is unlike most others in Europe. Folk traditions and song festivals remain central to identity. Singing together, especially in massive national choirs, is more than art. It is an act of unity, a reminder of how Estonians preserve their culture through centuries of domination. Religion, however, plays almost no role in daily life. More than 75% of Estonians identify as non-religious, making it one of the least religious countries in the world. This independence of spirit produces resilience, but also reserve. Social interactions are often cautious, with silence and personal space deeply valued. These traits, rooted in history, carry over into modern life, and nowhere are they more visible than in Estonia's dating culture. Estonian women are often described as among the most beautiful in Europe. Tall, elegant, and fashion-conscious, their northern European features attract global admiration. But beauty here carries a hidden struggle. Estonia has one of the widest gender gaps in Europe. Women live nearly a decade longer than men, and many young men leave the country in search of work abroad. This leaves women with fewer potential partners, and often a sense of loneliness. Dating culture mirrors the nation's reserved nature. Approaching strangers in public is uncommon. Instead, relationships often form through social circles or dating apps. For foreigners, Estonian women may seem approachable, but they are also cautious, preferring meaningful conversation over small talk. Independence is highly valued. Women expect equality and self-sufficiency in relationships. Marriage rates remain low, while divorce rates are relatively high, reflecting a modern, individualistic outlook. For outsiders, this quiet dating culture can be intriguing, but also challenging. Would you find it difficult to date in a society where silence and independence often replace small talk? If dating feels subdued, Nightlife tells an entirely different story. On weekends, Tallinn undergoes a remarkable transformation. By day, the city can feel silent, even sleepy. But by night, music pulses through hidden bars and underground clubs. Estonia has a thriving electronic music scene, and stylish cocktail bars line the capital streets. Social drinking is a major part of culture, with vodka and beer leading the way. Binge drinking remains a concern, particularly among men, but for visitors, nightlife feels both lively and approachable. Interestingly, many couples first meet in these settings, making nightlife a key part of Estonia's dating culture. Foreigners are often surprised by the contrast. A society so reserved by day becomes vibrant and even wild at night. Compared to neighboring Finland, prices are lower, which draws large numbers of Finnish tourists who cross the Baltic by ferry for weekends of partying. Still, Estonia's nightlife is smaller in scale than Western capitals like Berlin or London. The experience here is more intimate, personal, and reflective of the country's size. But nightlife is just one side of Estonia's daily life. To truly understand living here, we need to look at the costs and lifestyle that shape everyday reality. The cost of living in Estonia presents another paradox. For foreigners arriving from Scandinavia or Western Europe, Estonia feels affordable. Rent for an apartment in Tallinn might range from €400 to €800. Utilities are manageable, and food costs are moderate. A night out rarely exceeds €40, making the city attractive for budget-conscious travelers. But for locals, it's different. The average salary hovers around €1,600 to €2,000, with many earning closer to €1,000. This means housing and daily expenses can consume a large share of income. In other words, Estonia feels cheap for outsiders, but expensive for its own citizens. Lifestyle here emphasizes efficiency. Healthcare and government services are digitized, gyms and winter sports are popular, and cycling or walking are common. The e-residency program attracts thousands of remote workers each year, adding to Estonia's reputation as a modern hub for digital living. Yet behind the convenience lies the quiet reality that many citizens live modestly, with little extra income. To see how Estonia balances these contradictions, we must look deeper into its economy and the opportunities it provides. Despite its small size, Estonia has become a global startup hotspot. The country produced Skype, and newer success stories like Bolt and Wise continue to thrive. This entrepreneurial spirit is supported by a government that declared internet access a human right as early as 2000. Its e-residency program allows entrepreneurs worldwide to establish businesses in Estonia remotely, making it attractive to digital nomads and small startups. The economy relies heavily on IT, shipping, and services, but faces challenges like brain drain, a limited domestic market, and a shrinking population. For expats, Estonia offers opportunity, but also limitations. Success often depends on tapping into international markets. Still, the country's forward-looking approach sets it apart. Few nations of this size have embraced technology so boldly. Yet beyond business and innovation, Estonia hides treasures in its landmarks and natural escapes. Tallinn's Old Town remains the jewel of the nation, with medieval merchant houses, Gothic churches, and preserved city walls that attract tourists year-round. Beyond the capital, Estonia's beauty lies in its nature. Lahima National Park offers vast forests, coastal cliffs, and wildlife. Saaremaa Island, with its windmills and spas, feels like stepping into another era. Nature is not just scenery here, it is a central part of daily life. Estonians embrace the sauna tradition, often followed by plunges into icy lakes during winter. Many families own small summer cottages, where they escape city life to reconnect with simplicity and nature. This strong bond with the environment balances the highly digital rhythm of modern Estonia. But even surrounded by beauty, Estonia cannot escape contradictions that define its identity. Estonia is a nation of paradoxes. It is among the safest countries in Europe, yet one of the loneliest. Women are admired for their beauty, yet many remain single. The economy thrives on innovation, yet citizens live with modest incomes. The medieval cobblestones of Tallinn stand beside glass towers of tech startups, embodying the clash of past and present. These contradictions fascinate visitors and reveal the deeper truth of Estonia, a place where progress and tradition, beauty and solitude, are constantly negotiating. And so, we return to the mystery of Estonia, a country that lingers in memory long after departure. Estonia is not simply the country of lonely women. It is a land of resilience, digital brilliance, and quiet strength. Visitors discover a nation where silence speaks louder than words, where solitude is both a burden and a source of peace, and where modern life is deeply intertwined with centuries-old traditions. For some, the quiet is too much to bear. For others, it is precisely this quietness that feels liberating. Estonia leaves you wondering whether loneliness here is truly a weakness, or perhaps a different kind of freedom. Would you want to experience life in Estonia yourself, to see whether its quiet mystery feels lonely or liberating?